Hey guys, what's going on? Retro here, and I'm back with another TF2 commentary, and today I'm going to bring you guys my thoughts on the upcoming TF2 matchmaking based on the recent stress test that I've been able to participate in. And just now I've been able to actually participate in the beta, or whatever you want to call it, stress test, because the first, I think like 3 or 4 stress tests I was not able to play. I happened to always be out just the exact time that they launched the stress test, and then I'd get back exactly when they closed it, and it was just terrible timing. But now that I've been actually able to participate in a few ones, I thought I'd give you guys my thoughts on it, being a avid TF2 player myself. Now, just to get this off the table, as you can probably tell there, I am currently holding a golden pan in this stress test gameplay, and I mean, I wish it was my actual pan, but it happened to be loaned to me by the one and only Taco. Now, for any reason, if you happen to have a golden pan you're looking to sell, he's looking to buy another one, so I'll leave his link down in the description below. But thank you again, Taco, for letting me borrow this. Anyway, enjoy the glorified gameplay, and here we go. So to start off, the matchmaking has been pretty much what I expected from the start, and I feel the dev team is doing a great job so far with the few stress tests it's released, and I've loved the way that they've totally just let everybody who's in the group who's interested in competitive be able to take part in the stress test. It's a great way to get people in. They can test what works and what doesn't, and it's just great. So basically how the stress tests go are they're basically your lobby with no class restrictions or weapon whitelist, with 2 teams just brawling it out on your standard competitive maps. There's no changes, there's no different versions like Viaduct Pro version 8 or anything like that. And so far I've only really been able to get into, I don't know, like 2 of them, I think. I'm not really sure if it was 2, but either way I've only been able to play a limited amount of games, but boy were they fun. I mean, I have played my fair share of TF2 lobbies at TF2 Center, but just being able to queue up for matchmaking from the homepage is just puts a huge smile on my face. I don't know if you can see it right now, but it's just absolutely amazing to just be able to just hop into TF2. It's been our competitive TF2, which is something I've been wanting to do for a while now, being a big CSGO and actually LoL player now, sadly, but you know, happens. But anyway, that brings me on to my first topic of discussion, being the queue time and queuing up. Now, the queue time when I played matchmaking was less than a few seconds, which is to be expected with the number of players in the competitive matchmaking group. When they release an announcement, if you happen to be in the scrap.tf group, letting you know when there's an active stress test. I mean, and it's to be expected because we've literally tripled in the number of players since the competitive beta was announced. I think it was Mela who made a tweet on this, but even if 1/3 of the people in the competitive group stay, will just practically almost triple or double in number of active players. So whoever said TF2 was dying, this is solid proof that TF2 is not dying, and this is just a new beginning for any TF2 member and anybody just joining in right now just for the competitive and or bringing back old players. Now anyway, speaking about solo queue, which is always an option for ranked games like this, my TF2 would always crash every time I would solo queue, which I happen to find out later happened to do with PREC, a recording demo program I use for like if I wanted to make a frag movie down the road, and Kevin told me about it, so thank you, Kevin. But I still made it work somehow, and I got around it with having to queue with friends, which was actually such a better experience than I would have had just solo queuing, which I feel like is an absolute must for any like competitive ranked like matchmaking game. Anyway, it'll always just be like such a more enjoyable experience if you queue up with your friends. So I guess it was a sign from Game himself not to queue alone, so I guess it worked out that way. But once we actually got into the game, we were met with a few deserters, but I feel like the system the devs have implemented for the players leaving the game was just amazing. Now, if you're like me and you play your fair share of other ranked games such as LoL or CSGO, 99% of the time if a player leaves at the beginning, yes, they will be punished, but then it's pretty much a surrender at 20 minutes or just give it right at the start. It just puts your team in such a bad mood. You just get slapped in the face with a loss and a bad taste in your mouth, and there's nothing you can really do. So the devs have decided to implement a system that if a player leaves from the beginning, the game is automatically cancelled and no one loses elo, rank, or anything like that. You can just queue up again and play another match. So thank God for this system. Now I do see the flaws of it being abused by trolls just queuing up and just DCing all the time. But I've heard that the abandoner tag, which is like a punishment tag if you abandon a competitive match, is being handed out very easily, even to some players who are not worthy or deserving of it. So hopefully that should stop the trolls. I think it was even up to 30 minutes, but either way, no matter what game you're playing, there are always going to be trolls, and there's only so much you can do to stop them and avoid it. But enough about the technical parts of the matchmaking, let's jump into the actual gameplay. Now, I know this was just a normal TF2 I was playing, but being the competitive person I am, seeing the score at the top of the screen and just the competitive intro, everybody's names, it just made TF2 feel new again. It was compelled me to just jump into a normal pub or just go to lobbies and just practice to get better in preparation for this competitive mode that's coming up for TF2, and everything just is coming together for TF2, and it's just great for me and just for any other player in TF2 right now who's been around for a while. We've wanted competitive for a long time now, and it's just amazing. So the gameplay, it's just great. You get your loading screen and everything, except there's a few concerns, which is the current class restrictions, which I'm sure they will add later. Well, I'm hopeful they will, is because I've run into a few all pyro on all mini sentry engineer teams, and it was just horrible. Also, the drawing at the end of the victory screen, that just needs to be removed. That's not okay. I know they limited how much you can actually draw on screen, but come on, we all know what people are literally just gonna draw 24/7. And I mean, I just don't like the way it just ruins the end victory screen. You're supposed to be able to taunt, show off your items and whatnot, and then somebody can just scribble over your face, and I just feel like it's not fitting at all. But so far, matchmaking looks to be quite promising for any TF2 enthusiast looking to get into competitive or a already seasoned veteran. Either way, let me know down in the comment section below your thoughts on the current state of matchmaking, and if you were able to experience one of the stress tests yourself, be sure to let me know how your experience went. I'd love to hear some feedback on it from some other perspectives, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and this is Retro signing off.